Ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing an amazing move here, but is it time to sell into this epic gamma squeeze? Let's get into it with our daily SPY SPX analysis. Today is Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Let's get into it today here. Also, just closing out a couple of positions here in the trading room. Had our biggest nominal gain of the year, 1,165 points on the NQ. That was from Friday here, and actually closed out nice ES long as well, over 100 points there. This has been an amazing move here in this market, even just the last 2 days, but this whole move up here, I mean, we're now up. Spider's now actually green on the year. We're up over 800 points from the lows here. But could we see a little bit of a pivot tomorrow? And not, I've been saying not to fight this rally the whole way up. You guys saw the rant yesterday, and I don't think you should fight the rally. But I will say, seeing some signs of quiet exiting right now in this market, and that does not mean to go short, but you may trim and maybe put on some hedges. I think that's the appropriate way to play it. Gamma squeeze. Why am I saying it that way? I'm seeing this like I haven't seen it in a while, and we are up a lot. And if we take a look here, you can see they've been targeting. Now we could go up, and it's 3 o'clock here. I'm doing this video a little early. Power hour still. We could go up to that 590. That's been sitting there all day long. We did clear 5,900 on SPX. Right, so we're above. Well, we tapped it. We got back above, but we could go up for 590. But what I'm saying here is that really on the Qs, really on like some of these ARC, Tesla, SMCI, CrowdStrike, Palantir at new all-time highs. A lot of these stocks, Nvidia. I'm seeing gamma squeezing, not short squeezing, gamma squeezing, like I haven't seen in a long time. And what I mean by that specifically, if you're not familiar, means market makers are being forced to hedge higher. So they were not prepared for this move, and they're being forced intraday. And I've seen this before pivots, where you're up a ton, and you get that last kind of flush up, that last kind of thrust higher, as market makers are forced to hedge intraday with short dated calls, right? ODTEs, 2 to 3 DTE, and the institutions that are doing that, buying those, are selling shares underneath that. I think that's kind of something that we could be seeing right now. Additionally, there's just a couple other things. I mean, you look at like the VVIX here, that is green on the day, with volatility down, right, and ES up big. Going to be a little bit of a precursor there. Another thing too is, we hit some targets. I mean, NQ, we talked about this yesterday. It's right there into that bull market trend line and hitting at 786. So, again, I don't think you should fight it, like I've been saying over and over. But, here's an area to harvest gains, I would think, if there's going to be one. We might even gap up tomorrow. We could go higher. Maybe we could go to 592. Maybe we go to 59.25, 59.50. It's possible. It's certainly possible. Could they go to 6,000? I mean, that's possible too. But I think we're getting a little stretched here in the short term, and just seeing those signs there. This could go on for another 2 days, 3 days, right? It's not saying that can't happen, but definitely seeing that. And we are hitting the kind of outer. We talked about 590 in a Sunday video, and I said, that would be like your right tail. I didn't think we'd get there in 2 days. So you're hitting kind of like the weekly expected move in the first 2 days of an OPEX week. That too. So just some things to consider here. Again, where would a pullback take us? I mean, honestly, we could pull back 400 or 500 points and it would still be just a healthy pullback. But right now, I think, we still have that big call area at 5,800 for the end of the week. So if we pulled back there, I would think that would be a logical pin. And the deltas are positive, so I mean, we probably would hold that area. You also have the 100 and 200 that could get retested if this happens. Again, this is just an if. This is not a call. This is not me saying go short. again, I feel like I have to say that for some people who have very poor comprehension skills, which is not 99% of you aren't like that, but there's people out there. So just saying, but it, probably a good area to pick up some hedges or, just trim some gains here. And, we've done a good job of staying long the whole way up. And, again, like I said, not fighting the tape, but risk management is key in this business. Tomorrow, not really much going on. We got, so we had CPI today, and that was kind of a nothing burger. I kind of said, I believe I said in yesterday's video that I didn't think it would be that big of a deal because it's not going to reflect the new tariff policy and the new trade policy. So CPI might not even be a big deal for a few months. And you can actually see here, the market already knew that. Like the hedges started coming off before CPI even came out. So, I think that's the case. But we don't have anything to look forward to tomorrow, so there's no like carrot to dangle now. So that could be another reason here we could see some mean reversion. That said, I'm not saying we will. Just saying it's more likely than it was yesterday. And even so, RSI ain't even at 70 yet. 4 hour, definitely up there. But what an amazing move here, just an absolute epic squeeze. Yeah, I mean, we could go to 520 QQQ. I mean, it's up there if we gap up. I just don't know what the news is going to be that we could gap up on. Like, we've already got the trade deals. We've already got CPI. What else is there? So I think that also kind of factors in here. QQQ, on the other hand, this is through the 786, just in case you were wondering. So QQQ and NQ aren't always the same. This is just a power move here, though. So this, base case to me, like I said yesterday, this will go to all-time highs. Doesn't mean that's going a straight line, though. Russell, nice gain today, but mostly inside. It was actually, I shouldn't say it was a nice gain. This is kind of weak. So they had a good move yesterday, though. Diamond here, that was down because of UNH. UNH, I've been saying to avoid this since like 480, whenever it was. And there's a reason for that. Now, I will say, it is getting interesting here on a swing trade basis if you were to like nibble at it. This is the 50% fib from the GFC. Like, think about that, right? And then you go to this pivot here, which has not been retested. So that's just below 300. Maybe you start to nibble at it, but this stock's broken. I mean, this is a 1, 2, 3, 3-year bull flag failed breakout. That's not good. Look at the tail on that monthly candle. You know how many trap bulls are up here? So careful with it. But yeah, that's what's taking the Dow down. So we'll give the Dow a pass there, and we don't really care that much about the Dow anyway. So. But SMH here, another big move. Again, a lot of semis, squeezing up today. Gamma squeezing specifically. So very strong. Yeah, again, don't fight it. IGV again, kind of up to the upper. Kind of have this lower trend line here. Now here's the actual pivot highs. It is through that. Maybe it pulls back here. Usually the third hit is a pierce. So we'll see. Transport's still kind of soft today, but they did go straight into the 100 MA, and you made a higher high. It was up 7% yesterday, so you got a nice failed bear pennant there. Rates today, again, catching another bid, right? So I still think the 2 years not really going to go much higher. 10s and 30s can, though. And again, I think the mistake here is that rates are up, so stocks have to go down. I mean, if our bond market's in better shape than everybody else's, that's not necessarily the case. And it is in better shape than everyone else's. So I think that's the thing that people miss here. If you want to short something, just short the bonds. You don't have to short stocks. But 30s, that's a really powerful pattern there. XHB, again, finally, it's because we're going to close above the 100. So that's nice. Still got some resistance up here at like 102.50. VNQ, actually down 1%. But again, we talked about this. There's a lot of resistance here, and it's trying to work through that. It's chewing through that. XLF just gets closer and closer to all-time highs. KBE and KRE just hanging in there today. Nothing special. Broker dealers, new all-time high. Looks like they're, yep. I think that's a new one, yeah. Usually that's a positive, you know, like when the banks are doing well. I know, you know, people don't want to hear it, but there you go. Oil here continuing to hold up 3% above yesterday's high. Again, 4-hour got some resistance here, but if it gets through that, you know, we can go back and test these pivots down here. XLE also up nicely, reclaiming the 50 MA. There's XOP. Congrats if you took that freebie. OIH holding up as well, still not as good. Gas here flat, nothing going on there. Dollar did pull back a little bit today. And you got dollar yen pulling back a little bit too, but nothing terrible. This isn't the worst. Gold holding up. There is actually some pretty, I was just looking at June OPEX. This actually still looks pretty supportive going into that based on the GLD dealer positioning. So this might just flag here in that $300 area range for like a little bit. So unless anything changes, I think gold can just consolidate, but I think the likelihood is this just consolidates in a bullish manner here. So likely that we're seeing some backing off here. Silver, it's trying to put in a base. It's got a lot of supply that got knocked out here. It's trying. So it's taking its time, but the longer it bases, the better it gets. Platinum rejection yesterday, but right back up today. And same thing with palladium. So we'll see if they can build off of that tomorrow. Now copper finally has something that resembles a pattern here. The problem is you have a bear, like a bear inside bar here. The problem is the moving averages are neutral. You could easily just say this is a higher low, right? But you could also say, okay, it's a bear flag, so it's going to go down. I would just say be neutral on it because it's just not. I mean, it's just there's just no clear edge here. So you guys know I haven't not played with copper in a while for a reason. Bitcoin sold off a little bit in the overnight, I think, but you know, right back up. And again, this is flagging beneath all-time highs. So there it is. ETH up 6%. So crypto is holding up too. Coinbase also added to S&P. Again, there's another thing. I'm glad I just remembered that. Like really gamma squeezing, like big time. I showed this yesterday. The tail hedges were at 232.50. That's where it opened. And look at it. It's at 260. So again, dealers are getting blown out on a lot of these things. You know, ARC, Palantir, SMCI. This is kind of what happens like before you put in a pivot. That's why I'm saying just be a little careful up here. Had a nice move. SPY into the 786 as well. Good close above it. But yeah, anyways, guys, that's pretty much it here. So I would just say just be a little cautious here. We might see a pivot tomorrow. Maybe even just a pullback to 5,800 by the end of the week. But also wouldn't shock me if we kept going. These things can go farther than you think, and we don't really have any negative flows to support a reversal other than just kind of the suspicions I'm seeing here. So anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up here. Again, you guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. We'll see you guys all tomorrow.